The other matter that this seems to be percolating today, beginning with John Roberts' question, regarding General Michael Flynn, the former National Security Advisor, and who knew what and when regarding his being a lobbyist for President Erdogan of Turkey.
Yeah, it was interesting to watch Sean Spicer. He was trying to deflect this into a question of what the lawyer should have told him and that he was giving him the best legal advice and it was up to Flynn's lawyer. That precisely misses the point, and I suspect Sean knew that it missed the point, but he just didn't want to answer, because the real point is that let's assume that they didn't know that Michael Flynn was working as a foreign agent for Turkey at the time that he was, in effect, the top security advisor to the president during the campaign. Let's assume they didn't know it until the transition. Wouldn't you think, I mean, to me it seems inconceivable. I know that Sean said it. It seems inconceivable that it wouldn't percolate up the transition chain and somebody would have said to Donald Trump, the new president-elect, hey, did you know that Mike Flynn was working as a foreign agent? And one, if he didn't know, then why would you ever want him as a national security advisor? He's the guy that's advising you on foreign affairs. He was with him in the briefings that were held as a candidate with the CIA, and he has never told the candidate Donald Trump that he's on the retainer, a $500,000 retainer from the government of Turkey. I find that very hard to believe, and that if he didn't know it in the campaign, he clearly... the transition was given the information during the transition, and you got to think that somebody told the president at that point, the president-elect, and why he would have named him as the national security advisor, it seems inconceivable.
It was after the election that President Erdogan of Turkey, Chris, accused the United States of supporting ISIS. And it was during that same period that General Flynn wrote an op-ed in support and praise of President Erdogan. Certainly, I don't know if there's anything illegal here. I defer to you on that. But something is missing, at least in the vetting process or the communication process, wouldn't you say?
Well, certainly in the communications process. I mean, again, let's point out, he was the top foreign affairs, national security advisor to candidate Donald Trump. I don't care. I mean, yes, you're pointing out reasons why representing Erdogan and the government of Turkey would be especially troubling. But let's say he was representing England, a staunch ally of us. When you're getting advice from your top security advisor, when he's going in with you to top secret briefings by the CIA when you're a candidate for president, and he's representing another country and getting a $500,000 retainer or more than that, how is it conceivable that he wouldn't have told you? And if he hadn't told you, how is it conceivable that you wouldn't fire him on the spot as soon as you found out?
There's more intrigue here in that the Russian government is very much aligned now with the Turkish government. They have very nice things to say about each other. And it was Michael Flynn who had conversations with the Russians that was the stated reason at the time for what was then called the asking of his resignation. And with all of these different concerns within this White House, the people who are now or were at least close to the president, questions about Russia continue to come up.
That's true, but you know, I think we have to point out, and I had an interview last Sunday on Fox News Sunday with Tom Cotton, who's a member of the Senate Intelligence Committee, and I asked him directly, is there any evidence you've gotten so far, and this investigation has been going on for quite a period of time, is there any evidence of collusion between Trump world, and I'm saying sort of writ large, campaign, associates, whatever, and the Russians? And he said there is not any evidence that we on the Intelligence Committee have received so far. So until that changes, the Russia question, I understand there's smoke, but there is no indication, no hard evidence of any fire, any collusion between the Russians and Trump world to interfere with the campaign.
Yep, not one bit.